Survival in Project Zomboid is always hanging by a single thread. One wrong decision and the thread breaks. And normally, between trying to juggle resources, exhaustion, and generally being totally unprepared, things always end the same way. But what if when the apocalypse began, you were in the middle of an underground bunker completely sealed off from the outside? This was something I wanted to find out, so I would attempt to survive 10 days living out of this bunker. But to me, that seemed a little too easy. And so even though I was very new to this game, and I'd never survived 10 days in any Project Zomboid run, if I could make it to the 10th night, I would have to defend against a horde of over 300 zombies, without leaving the boundaries of this shelter, which could get a little interesting. Now, admittedly, I couldn't do this alone, because I was an amateur, and I barely knew how to swing an axe, much less kill 300 zombies. So on day 1, I spawned in with my friend DiamondKid, who had a bit more experience.
Wow, this is cozy.
Let's just chill out in the bunker for a while.
Now, obviously, we took some time to check out the bunker itself, and it had most of the essential services we'd need to make it through 10 days. Running water, entertainment, storage, even some food to get us started. But while surviving 10 days was our primary goal, things weren't going to be that simple. In order to take on the horde on night 10, we would need to tackle several problems along the way. The first of which, believe it or not, was that we had to figure out where the hell we were, because after taking stock of our surrounding area, it became quickly apparent that we were in the middle of nowhere. Finding places to loot food, weapons, and get a hold of some vehicles would be the first priority. So DiamondKid and I grabbed what weapons we could find out of the bunker and hit the road. Now, for any experienced Project Zomboid player, traveling by foot is probably not the scariest experience. But for me, each axe swing had me a little on edge. Nevertheless, I stayed focused on the path ahead, and after a long walk, we found ourselves in front of our first building. This was a cafe, potentially full of food. So we quickly snuck into the side window to grab what we could from this cafe. And while it wasn't much, we did manage to get our hands on a crowbar, which would come in handy later. And as an added bonus, we snuck out the back entrance, losing a lot of the zombies we had trailing us in the process. We continued down the road, and not far beyond the cafe was what seemed to be an extremely exciting find, a hunting lodge. A building we were convinced would give us some serious firepower early in our run. But after getting excited, we looted the lodge and only found a bunch of ammo, which was pretty frustrating. But it was still early in this run, so we pushed ahead to search for the next building. Down the road, however, was something a little more profitable. Since it was too dark in the night, it was hard for us to make it out. This was a shooting range. We snuck our way inside, and Diamond managed to get his hands on our first gun. And to top it off, we saw a group of zombies out in the range with a decent amount of loot equipped. And my lack of experience would show.
I'm looking at it's too dark down here, but I just got fucking hit. He knocked me down. Oh shit.
I was pretty fortunate to escape from that fight relatively unscathed. And this was a wake-up call. If I was going to make it to day 10 and be able to confidently fight the zombie horde, I had a long way to go. But for now, the sun had begun to rise on day 2. Diamond and I looted what we could, and equipped with some more substantial weapons, we continued to scout the surrounding area. At this point, with some guns in our hands, we were now solely focused on finding a car to get us back home to the bunker. We passed by some houses, a school, a block of storage units, and finally we found our way to a large car park. But it was filled with zombies. This wasn't ideal. Since we didn't have a huge supply of guns, taking on a fight this large would be a risk. So instead of trying to kill every zombie in the area, we decided that Diamond would lure the zombies away and I would sneak into the car park to try and grab a car. And since I was new to this game, Diamond had recommended that I select the burglar profession. That would give me the ability to hotwire cars, which is both a very straightforward skill to have, but also extremely useful in helping us commandeer cars without needing to find one with keys. So with all that in mind, Diamond began to pick off the zombies with his gun while I cleared the remaining zombies in the nearby car park. And after all we'd been through over the last couple of days, I was starting to gain some confidence. I could efficiently take down small groups of zombies all by my lonesome. I finally started to feel like I was holding my own. That meant that I had plenty of time to look over the cars, and after reviewing the condition of the options and quickly siphoning some gas, we had a vehicle up and running. Ironically, this car had keys in it, but I kept telling myself this was a one-off, which made me feel a little better. Diamond started to make his way back to me, and I decided to kill some time by looting the nearby warehouse, and this thing was stacked. It had both metalworking and carpentry tools, but also a heap of useful melee weapons, including this beauty. When I saw this axe, I felt a rush of confidence. With this thing in my hands, nothing could stop me. I equipped that bad boy into my hands and strutted out of the hardware store, ready to head home. Pause it right there. To experienced Zomboid players, they probably already know what's coming, because the reality is, if I had picked different traits and professions for my character, this axe probably would have made me a one-man killing machine. But I didn't pick any of those traits, and I didn't have an axe-related profession. So this thing being in my hands was about as useful as swinging a wet towel at a bee. And maybe it was my newfound confidence, maybe it was the lack of experience, or maybe it was just because my ego was getting far too large. But I had a big reality check coming.
I got
Oh, you
cut. I got fucked up.
You're fine.
I got a laceration.
And if that wasn't enough, I refused to accept my faults and let my lack of experience show once again.
I just got bitten again. I got bitten. I got bitten.
And that leads us to run 2. Now, equipped with a humbling experience under my belt, we acted with purpose, gathering what we could from the bunker before heading up the road. And instead of going straight ahead up the road, we decided to take the first turn we came across, which would introduce us to a brand new area that we hadn't discovered yet. This was the shopping mall. This mall would be a crucial location in the future since it had a steady supply of food and resources, 2 of the essential things we would need to collect to prepare for the Horde on day 10. And with an idea of where to collect both food and guns, that just left us with one last requirement: vehicles. And it may not come as a surprise to you, but surrounding this mall was a giant car park filled with a huge amount of vehicles right near our bunker. And finally, making use of my burglar profession, I hotwired a pickup truck and headed back to collect Diamond. We had a plan to pass by the shooting range we found earlier, before returning back to the mall to gather supplies. And this time, the shooting range was far more prosperous. We found several pistols and Diamond even managed to get a shotgun. So we headed back to the mall, and maybe it was a little risky and a little stupid, but we decided to head into day 2 with style by clearing this whole area. Diamond jumped in the passenger seat and we had a little bit of fun. Now, with most of the area cleared, we were finally able to venture into the mall, and my experience was beginning to grow. For the most part, I didn't run in fear from zombies, but instead ran towards them. But like I said at the start of this video, survival in Project Zomboid hangs on a single thread, and even the most experienced of players can make mistakes. Unbeknownst to me, Diamond had made his way to the 2nd floor alone, and it was still filled with zombies, which didn't turn out too well for him.
Surely I'll walk into the store back here and I'll find.
A bit.
What?
A bit.
Now, sure, it was a little frustrating to have to restart again, but we now had all the information we needed to go into a run with far more knowledge to assist us. Not only had we scouted our surroundings, but we knew locations for food, guns, vehicles, and even more. This would allow us to start the next run with a far more direct approach, meaning we could obtain the essentials and start to think about reinforcing our bunker and preparing for the Horde. So we headed into run 3. But this was a great example of why doing challenges like this with 2 people can, in some ways, be tougher than doing them alone. If either one of us slipped up, we would both fail the challenge. And even though Diamond was more experienced than I was, he can still make mistakes. Actually, here's another example for you.
Oh no. That's not good.
I got it. Go.
Yo, have you seen? Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me?
So we headed into run 4. And without giving any spoilers, this would be our biggest run yet. And immediately our luck began to improve. When we spawned in, we were greeted with a red sports car just outside the bunker in great condition. It just needed a little bit of fuel. So, equipped with the knowledge from prior runs, we headed straight to the shopping mall car park. This time, avoiding zombies was a breeze. I even felt comfortable drawing a huge horde without fear of certain death. I drew a large group into the forest and snuck away from them, clearing the car park. And with the extra space we'd cleared out, Diamond and I had time to do a quick circuit of the car park, which would prove to be extremely beneficial.
Oh my god. Oh wow. The engine was fine. It was fine. It is fine. I'm coming, Diamond!
Now we were feeling great. We had 2 cars, one of which was a huge truck, so we decided to head to the shooting range to pick up some guns. And our luck continued to improve. We cleared out the range and managed to find a couple of guns and plenty of ammo. So at the start of day 2, we brought everything back to the bunker. This was the cleanest run we'd had so far, but we couldn't get complacent. If we wanted to make it to 10 days and survive the horde, we would have to keep our eyes on the goal. We still needed food, more weapons, and we needed to reinforce the bunker substantially to survive an attack from hundreds of zombies. So in the early morning on day 2, we headed up the main road to explore, and spirits were high. On the road again.
So good.
I can't wait to get on the road again. We found ourselves at a roadblock, but this wasn't all bad news. Not only had we found ourselves another truck in good condition, but this roadblock was a military roadblock. Now, for anyone who's played Project Zomboid before, you probably know what this is. But for those who haven't played, this is the entrance to a huge military base. One that held enough weapons and ammunition to take on much larger hordes than we had encountered so far. And while we didn't know what we were running into yet, it wouldn't be long before we cleared our way through the groups of zombies at the entrance and pushed inwards into the base. We quickly headed into the first tents we found and started to loot anything of value. And despite the fact both of our characters were starting to get extremely depressed, this was a very positive turn of events. This military base was stacked with high-level clothing and armor, and we quickly kitted up in much more sturdy equipment to face the zombies. And believe it or not, this turn of events was incredibly convenient, because I would need this protection urgently, especially if I managed to get myself cornered with nowhere to run.
Oh, I got insane protection now.
Oh, hold on, I'm getting charged, bro. I need help. I just got bitten.
Yeah. What?
I had narrowly escaped with my life intact, only protected by the strength of the armor I had equipped. And this was a reminder to always stay alert. Even if I felt safe, bad timing or bad positioning could spell the end. After giving myself some space from the tents, I found a military office which provided a short respite from the outside, with some food to fill up, but most importantly, another item I had been chasing for a long time.
Oh, finally a lighter.
I had been chasing this lighter for ages because my anxiety was starting to go through the roof. This was because when I created my character, I took the smoker trait, meaning I had to smoke relatively regularly in order to keep my anxiety down. And while I had found cigarettes in the bunker when I spawned, this was the first source of fire we'd come across in almost 2 days of surviving. So I spent some time relaxing in the office, and as day 2 came to a close, I headed back out and across the road to check the tents on the other side. And our fortunes were about to change drastically.
Oh shit, yeah, this was the juice tent. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Bro! China Lake grenade launcher, Colt CAR-15 SMG, L118A1 Arctic Warfare, Remington M40A3 rifle.
This was exactly what we were hoping to find. A huge amount of high quality guns and weaponry, enough to defend from the horde on day 10. This was one of our primary goals checked off. We had an arsenal of weapons to defend ourselves with, but that just left us with one small problem, because lugging these guns back and forth would take us hours that could prove to be very important. But in order to bring a car into the base, we would have to find a way to remove these barricades that block the entrance. And that might not seem like a difficult task, but one tool we hadn't come across up to this point was a hammer, and it was the one tool we would need to remove the barricade. So I began the search, checking every single box, every single building, and everywhere I could look. And finally, just on the outskirts of the camp, I decided it might be worth looking inside vehicles, which led me to this.
Hammer! I found it! I found one!
Let's go. Yes.
I finally got my hands on a hammer in the back of this van. So I decided to hotwire the van, load up all the guns in it, and then head back to the entrance where we would finally remove the barricade, setting us free so that we could head home to the bunker. And strangely enough, even though we hadn't spent too much time in this bunker, it was nice to be back home. Being surrounded by these walls and safely underground meant that we could finally relax and unwind. So that is exactly what I did. I spent some time watching TV, reading some magazines, enjoying the finer things in life. It was truly peaceful. So peaceful that for a while you could even forget that if we did manage to survive the next 7 days, what would await us on the other side would be a horde of hungry, rotting zombies filling these halls and demanding our flesh. So anyway, we decided to get back to work. We were reaching the last few hours of day 3, so we spent a few hours organizing all of our stuff. We had plenty of weapons, but we still had 2 big needs to address. The first, we would need food. Since we would be spending a lot of time at the bunker preparing for the horde, having a good stock of essential food and water would keep us alive for the next week. And secondly, we needed materials. Wood, nails, metal, everything that would allow us to reinforce this base to give us a shot at defeating the horde. Fortunately, we knew where to find both. On one of our earlier runs, you might remember that I found a warehouse absolutely loaded with building resources, which was close to our bunker. So we decided that since we had enough food for the next couple of days, we would first head to the warehouse where we could grab some materials and start to make a plan for reinforcing the bunker. With a short drive out of the way, we reached the warehouse. And after killing a few zombies in the area, we found a couple of trolleys inside the warehouse and started to load them up with resources. Our main goal was to grab plenty of nails and tools, because we had planned on clearing out a section of the forest around our base anyway, and to be fair, there were plenty of planks in this warehouse, but neither of us had a lot of experience in carpentry, so cutting down all those trees and sawing up the logs would give us crucial levels that we'd need to be able to build walls down the line. Nevertheless, we grabbed a few planks to start us off and filled up the van before heading home, and by the time we reached the bunker, it was officially day 5, which felt like it happened extremely fast. Being halfway to day 10 meant that we only had 5 days left to prepare for defending from hundreds of zombies in this tiny bunker, which at the time felt a little bit concerning, but we kept moving forward, convinced that defending this bunker would be possible. With our resources unloaded, we moved on to our second goal, food. And the best place for food was the shopping mall. And so we decided to run back a little strategy from earlier. Except now I got to do the shooting, which was pretty fun. To save you the time, after a few hours, the car park was mostly clear. While we still had to clear out a few stragglers here and there, we could make our way in once again. And this time, Diamond was banned from heading up to the second floor. This was a pretty effective looting run. We found plenty of great melee weapons at the gardening store, and more importantly, a heap of food from the food court. This looting run took us all the way into day 6, and after loading all the essentials onto trolleys, we had a quick scan of the car park for some new vehicles. I managed to find this SWAT van, which would be a great addition to our collection. And to add to that, we also found a big trailer that we could load all of our food and weapons into for the trip home. Finally, back to the bunker, our sights were now firmly set on reaching day 10 and surviving the horde. We had plenty of guns, plenty of food, and the only thing we would need to focus on now was reinforcing this bunker and making it defendable from inside. So, as a reward for my efforts thus far, I allowed myself a cold bath, cleaning off my skin and clothes. And while it might not sound like much, it was nice not being covered in the blood and guts of the undead for just a short while. Heading towards the end of day 6, it was time to enter the final stretch. This would henceforth be known as bunker down time. All of our looting runs had led up to this. Now, I am no expert in this game. I've said it from the start and I'll say it again. So my plans for surviving a horde of hundreds of zombies pretty much boiled down to line them up and shoot them down. That meant our initial plan was to build walls, funneling the zombies into the bunker, and then try and get as much time as possible with a good line of sight to clear them out. And admittedly, there were faults in this plan. If we started to get overrun, losing ground in the bunker would be hugely detrimental. But there was an essential part of this plan that we needed to address before anything. In order to do any of this, build the walls, the fences, the furniture, I would need to level up my carpentry skill. Normally, leveling up skills in Project Zomboid can be incredibly slow. Unless you have the right book to increase your experience gain, it requires a lot of grind. And unfortunately, we did not have the carpentry book that would help us in acquiring level 1 and level 2 carpentry. But we did have carpentry volume 2. So that meant that all I would have to do is grind my way through 2 levels worth of learning, and then I would be on the fast track to level 4. So that's what we did. Diamond cut trees, and I sawed them into planks, over and over and over. And this was a grind that took me all the way through the rest of days 6 and 7, but it was the only way. Finally, after 2 whole days of sawing, my hands blistered and bruised, I reached level 2 in carpentry. That meant I could finally read the second carpentry book and earn myself the speed boost for levels 3 and 4. So in the final few hours of day 7, things were finally looking up. I decided to set out the framework for the front breach and the funnel leading to it. And I'm sure that there are better ways to defend from a horde in tight spaces, but we were just going with whatever seemed like the right decision at the time. We'd build a funnel outside the door and a snaking hallway on the inside of the bunker, making sure to place fences along the way to stall the horde if they managed to get inside. And before I knew it, my carpentry level was level 4. Even though getting to level 2 had taken me 2 whole days, the speed boost from reading the carpentry book meant that the next 2 levels had gone by in a flash. And level 4 carpentry was extremely important, since it meant that I could upgrade all our walls to be stronger, hopefully stalling the horde that little bit longer. So at the end of day 8, the base was ready. It wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't optimal, but it had all the hallmarks of a plan made by a guy who now had just over 20 hours in the game. On day 9, we made another run to the military base to collect the remaining ammo. And on the way home, Diamond and I were poking fun at one another.
That one up ahead, that's you. See that? That's you.
Well, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. And look, see, I got back up like I always do. I never give up. I always get back up.
You know, just for that, I'm gonna fucking run him over again.
You mind explaining to me what you're trying to do?
I can't.
Oh my god, I think the car is getting damaged, Kezza. Oh my god.
Bro, we're in trouble.
Kezza. Back. Go backwards. What are you doing?
Switch to the back, switch to the back.
Kezza,
Oh,
what the
fuck.
fuck are you doing? Get in the backseat, Kezza.
After that prank, Diamond was really happy with me.
Yes, I love the fucking soaking wet rain on a cloudy day with this guy.
Editor,
this
cut that out.
Australian guy.
There we go, lovely. Huh? Who needs to chill a little bit, huh? Just relax. What could go wrong?
So after adding 8 hours to our quick military run, we transferred the loot from our SWAT van and headed home. And we spent the next 2 hours preparing for the horde. We walked through the passageway, placing boxes, guns, and ammo along the different holding positions, before heading out on another looting run. And with Diamond at the wheel, we were given a quick reminder of my past transgressions.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right next to it, bro.
And what you're watching at 10 times the speed is us using a broken SWAT van, which constantly stalled, to eventually knock our car back into place. And we were feeling pretty great. But as things often are in life, all good things come to an end. Looking back on this journey after it all played out has taught me a few things. The most important of which is that keeping track of time is extremely important, because you've probably noticed that it is currently the middle of day 10. And the eagle-eyed among you might be wondering why we're messing around and looting before the biggest horde we've ever seen. That is because Diamond and I are fucking morons, and we had it in our mind that the day we were currently on was day 9. So we were messing around, having a good time. And while we had some great luck with the leftover loot at the military base, we were driving into an oncoming storm. And for those who still haven't caught on to the problem, we thought we'd have another full 24 hours to prepare for the horde. But we didn't have another 24 hours. In fact, we were so comfortable that towards the end of the day, we took our new grenade launcher out for a spin to have a bit of fun. Not knowing that while we were out on the road in front of our bunker, the horde were already on their way. Wait, Diamond, is that not the fucking horde symbol up the top right of the screen?
Oh shit.
Wait, I'm actually confused. How is it Horde Night?
Did we screw up the days? We were in complete disarray. We weren't equipped for the horde, we hadn't eaten, we hadn't prepared. The only saving grace was that because we were on the road, we would have a few moments while the horde followed us back to our base that we could potentially prepare. And so even though it wasn't ideal, we did what we could. We ate, we prepared guns, and then we waited. And eventually the horde arrived.
Good old. Kezza?
What the fuck did you just do?
That didn't kill us.
I need your help.
Go inside, right now. I got my automatic shotgun ready. You wanna open this? So just get rid of the glass.
Oh
Okay?
fuck! Oh fuck! Okay.
Get rid of the glass.
Oh
Okay,
my
we got
fucking
we
god!
got
This is bad.
We got this. Okay.
Go back! Go back! Go back! Go back!
Oh, save me. I'm gonna get back, get some distance. Yeah, motherfucker. Eat lead.
Oh shit! They broke the wall on the side. This is our bunker, damn it!
Get the hell out of here.
We had survived. In fact, we almost found it easy. Too easy. You see, when we set out to take on this challenge, I was just a beginner with very few hours in this game, and I had no idea how to wield an axe, much less a gun. But after 10 days in this game, I wasn't a beginner anymore. To me, what initially seemed insurmountable was just a challenge. But this wasn't how we were gonna end this. I had been through so much, learned so much, I wanted to feel truly tested. So this wasn't the end. Instead of patting each other on the back and calling it a day, Diamond and I agreed to turn things up a notch. We decided that there would have to be a day 11. And at the end of this day 11, we would take on a horde that was 3 times the size of the previous one. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to support us being suicidal maniacs, please like this video, subscribe to my channel so that we can keep on doing stupid stuff like this. On day 11, we repaired what had been destroyed the previous night, filled our bellies, and cleaned our clothes. Diamond called me into the living room for a ceremony befitting our journey.
Young Padawan, you've gone through trials and errors and have not died. You've graduated from a noob to a novice. Congratulations, son.
Thank you, Sensei. Now, as you requested.
And before the horde arrived, we sat down where it had all began and wrote a note, a memoir to commemorate our journey. If we didn't survive, who knows what would become of this bunker? Maybe someday someone else would come across it and enjoy the finer parts of life that we had once enjoyed. We sat in silence for a while, discussing our plan of attack. Now, unfortunately, my footage for this was corrupt. But I was lucky enough to have Diamond by my side, who recorded the whole thing. And this was fortunate, because this was the most insane encounter I've ever seen in Project Zomboid.
They coming?
Over here.
Oh shit! There's a hole in the wall!
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Hold on. I don't know if this. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Diamond, I'm out of ammo!
It's okay. Kezza. Okay.
Go inside!
Okay. Shoot him.
Oh my god.
Get out of there.
My gun's jammed!
I'm opening fire. Kezza, I'm getting the Molotov ready.
We had lost too much ground, forcing us to use the one weapon that would unleash absolute chaos. This would be
Ready?
our only chance at survival.
Go! Get out of there, Kezza.
My gun's jammed.
Reloading. Oh my god. The walls are burning down, Kezza.
So be it, Diamond.
Oh my god!
If this bunker goes down with us, so be it.
Fuck.
Diamond, this might be the end for us, but we're gonna go down fighting. I'm
Jesus
refilling my
Christ.
mag. Just keep holding.
This is the end, Kezza. This.
Just keep holding them.
Oh my god, they're
Oh, they're
through the
going
walls.
through the walls. Just keep holding. We're clearing them. Keep holding.
We're actually clearing them.
There could be more in there. There could be more.
Got him. Oh my god.
Ah, I'm knocked down.
Get up, get up. We go far.
I'm jammed.
Kezza.
We have an escape plan, Damo. We can run through them if we can clear out enough.
Okay.
I'm on fire. Ah!
Get inside. No, Kezza. Kezza. Get up. Get the hell away from me, you animals. Get out. Get out. Leave me alone. I said get off me. Oh, no. It's empty. Get off me. No,
Our journey in the bunker had come to an end. We had survived 10 days, but we hadn't survived the final challenge. But in a way, as the last zombies burned to the ground, we were still victorious. Perhaps someday, someone out there who is new to the Project Zomboid world will come across this place and what remains, and they'll go on a journey of their own, just like us in these hallowed halls. But they'll probably just die like we did, because that's Project Zomboid. Live, die, repeat. See you next time.